If you buy a package of NFC tags, which are this small, place them around your home and then fill your home with Govee lighting, you can control the lighting by scanning a tag with your phone. Now, Govee has smart bulbs, LED strips, and fixtures that fit your TV, your living room, or really any space in your home. And this is so simple to do in the Govee app, as you can tap on the account icon where you'll find a section for NFC tags, hit the plus in the top right, and you'll scan a new NFC tag. From there, you'll select the different lights you want to turn on and how you want them to turn on. This means anything the light can do, you can do with an NFC tag and your phone. I love choosing multiple lights and then having them all turn on with a similar motif, as it creates a whole home ambient lighting scene in just a tap. With each tag, you could be scanning a different scene, and this means that you can create individual scenes for each person in your home. It also allows you to stop kids or guests from changing the lighting. But here's the kicker. Everyone in your home who has logged into the same Govee account on their phone, and their phones have the ability to scan an NFC tag, then they will be able to scan and get that scene to execute. So it's not just your phone, it's everyone's phone can do this. This all works so well because you can take cards and NFC tags with you anywhere in the world. Of course, you can take their smart bulbs and smart fixtures with you anywhere you go, and there's no construction or modification of your home, which is so important to those of us who rent our homes. And this is just one of our easy to execute tips and tricks that you can use to make your smart apartment lighting amazing. Hello Automators, thanks for tuning in again. I'm Brian from Automate Your Life, and I'm going to do that in just the easiest of ways. All of these ideas are for renters specifically, but this does make your life easy no matter where you live. Before I go on to the next tip, let me tell you that today's video sponsor Switchbot can do a similar thing with NFC tags with their products. I've set this one up to work with the Switchbot app. You can use their little bots or their curtains to control that ambient lighting in your home, or their full lighting control with their smart bulb or their smart LED strip. As someone who rents, it's frustrating to watch one of the world's leading smart home lighting platforms. That's because this platform is highly reliable, extremely flexible, as it can be used with both lights, fans, and blinds or shades. Plus, it connects to just about every other smart home platform available today. And they provide remotes that can be placed around your home so you don't have to go up to the light switch. The problem has been that I would have had to install their light switches in my wall, and I'm a renter, so I really can't. This platform I'm talking about is Lutron, and while most of their products you won't be able to use in an apartment, they now have two products that you can and are amazing. If you have smart bulbs or smart lighting products from Philips Hue, then you have invested in some of the best lights available today. But as soon as someone comes over to a light switch, they can turn off all your smart bulbs, or you might just be annoyed at having to open up the application to control your smart lights. There's something to be said about a physical controller, and if you buy the Lutron Aurora, you can install it over existing toggle light switches in about 3 seconds. They will then pair using the Hue hub to your lighting in the space, and you can control it using that dial and the push button. That stops people from turning off your light switch, but if you have switches like mine, then you're probably thinking that it's something you can't use. That's actually no longer true, as Lutron has a mount that I'm showing right here for that style of switch. This would require some in-wall work, so instead you can do this with the Aurora to turn it into a remote. See, there are three parts to Lutron Aurora: the white dial and push button, the black part, which is the transceiver, and then there's the gray piece, which actually can sit flush on a surface, but you need to attach something like this nano tape that I use, which is double-sided tape, can stick to any surface easily, and can be removed really easily later when you're done with it. I think I like this other product from Lutron even more, and the reason I say that is because it can be used with any lamp you have in your home. The only real requirement is that your light bulb isn't too heavy of a load and that it is a dimmable bulb. Not a smart dimmable bulb, but just a dimmable bulb that sits in your lamp. After that, if you purchase this dimming kit, which includes the Lutron hub, and you will get a couple of dimming remotes and a couple of these lamp dimming smart plugs. There are a number of things that are incredible about this system. You can control by the app, you can control by those little remotes, and you can control with the physical buttons sitting on this smart plug. Now this smart plug has 2 plugs on it, so you can connect both of your lamps in a space as long as you deal with the wiring across to this. And what I really like about this, beyond the basic ability to brighten and dim a lamp, is how smooth all of the control feels. The other thing that's so impressive about this system is that nothing is being put on your Wi-Fi, which makes it highly reliable as all of the devices communicate at a much lower frequency between the hub and the devices. And that lower frequency, or at least a different technology than Wi-Fi, is really important for those of you who live in an apartment. That's because most apartments have a lot of neighbors, and that means you'll have a lot of Wi-Fi interference from those neighbors. Now, one of the most common problems that you will experience with smart lighting on Wi-Fi is dropouts due to that interference, and you won't be able to see it or diagnose it in a lot of cases, as your neighbor's Wi-Fi will overlap with yours and potentially cause problems. The other thing that can happen to you really quickly is that your router can become too full of Wi-Fi devices. It might not be able to handle all of the devices you're putting on it, and this is especially true if you end up with 20 or 30 light bulbs in your home. There are reasons for that I won't go into here, but if you need a guide on how to get better Wi-Fi, then my 5 easy tips for great Wi-Fi is a good video for you to watch, and it's linked down below in the description. So one of the biggest tips I can give you is not about a certain product or how to use it, it's actually about the technology behind the products you're buying. There are 2 technologies other than that Lutron system that I will suggest you can use in an apartment to get around all of this Wi-Fi traffic. Thread smart home products are gaining a lot of steam, and although there aren't a lot of them available today, this will change over the next couple of years, and it's a really important part of the upcoming Matter standard. But Thread is good for apartments for a few reasons. It has specific technology included in it that avoids interference from other Thread networks and from Wi-Fi. It's also going to be better and better as you build the Thread network in your home, because not only is it fairly long range, but it's also going to be able to use different paths to get to your smart lighting if one of them has gone offline. One thing to keep in mind is that you'll need a Thread border router to use Thread-based smart home products, which I do have a guide to, again, linked below. But if you are not ready to jump on that bandwagon, or you can't find enough Thread products to get you through your smart home, then an older technology could be a great fit. That technology is Z-Wave. It's going to be slower to respond, and you will have to have a smart home hub in order to use it. But this is much less likely to be interfered with by other networks around you, and it's been around for a very long time, so they are highly reliable products. Plus, the hub you're going to get is going to give you really deep automation options, which is great for the future of your smart home. I know that it can be pretty expensive to replace all your light bulbs with smart bulbs, and there are probably switches around your home that you don't want to change out the lights on. I have one in my garage, and it's up really high, and I don't want to change my outdoor lighting all that often either. So in those cases, I have found products that can do the pressing for me. I already talked about Switchbot earlier, and I showed even the solution here, but this bot, which does require their hub to get the fancier automation features you'll want, it can be used as a light switch toggle. And they also have an upcoming version of the Switchbot bot that will toggle this kind of switch too. Third Reality, which makes a Zigbee version of a new light switch actuator, has really impressed me with this product. Since it's a Zigbee switch, you'll need a hub, but there are a lot of options, including the Amazon Echo 4th generation speakers, the Echo Show 10, SmartThings, and Hubitat, so you have a lot of popular hubs to choose from. But in a lot of cases, you will absolutely want to use smart bulbs because they give you the most options for colors, effects, brightness, and temperature, and they just make your space look amazing. But that means every single time someone touches a light switch, your lights will turn off and they won't respond to voice control or automations or anything. That's where I found a few covers to place over my light switches. There are many different versions of this product available all over the place, and they will fit different light switch types. However, this version is definitely my favorite as it has a magnetic backing and can be removed by pulling it off the switch. It also gives me a surface to use. That's where smart remotes and smart push buttons become so powerful. Now, IKEA has these Zigbee remotes that work with SmartThings and, of course, with the IKEA Smart Home system. They can be set up to control your lighting and more. Switchbot has their own little remote that pairs with their hub and their products to control them. I've already shown you the Lutron Aurora and, of course, the Lutron scene controller remotes there. And there are many Z-Wave scene control remotes like this one from AOTech that work with hubs to control your lighting there. As the Amazon smart home system is pretty much the most popular one today, there's lots of you who are going to have an Echo Show, or an Echo Dot. And because of that, you will want some products that can start routines in the Miss A application. The good news is we now have a pretty good set of products that can do that and therefore can control your lighting that you've integrated there. YoLink is a really interesting smart home system, and their remotes here are called fobs. They each contain 4 buttons, and each button can be set up with its own Miss A routine. So if you want the first button, it can turn on a scene of lights through the Miss A app, and then button 2 can turn them all off. The sky's the limit, and you can buy a number of these fobs to place on their own covers and around your home. They are fairly inexpensive, although you will need the YoLink hub to make this all work. But one of the best tricks is to pick up a flick hub and a flick button. That's because flick buttons can connect to so many different platforms, especially when paired with the hub. While this is a more expensive system, the buttons are small and have 3 different click functions: a click, a double click, and a hold. Each of those different functions can be paired with Amazon, SmartThings, Philips Hue, Sonos, and so many more lighting and smart home platforms. Plus, they can do all of that at the same time, so you can have a single press of a flick button turn on your Sonos speakers at the same time as all of your lighting in the Amazon app changes. All of that with the click of a button and not a lot of work. Plus, it's something that you can take with you to your next apartment. Within today's video, I referenced a lot of different tutorials that you might need, and remember, all of those are linked below. But what you'll want to see right now are my demonstrations of the products that you saw today. This includes Govee, Switchbot, Lutron, Flick, and the different remotes you just saw. All of that's contained in the playlist up on screen now, so click there and find out more about the products you're into. Otherwise, thanks for watching today, and of course, don't hate, automate.